So tell me who you are and why we're here.
Yeah, hi, my name is Robert Fries, and I came here to take part in this collaborative leadership sit-in, hang-out weekend thing down here in Cloughjordan, which is a beautiful spot. And I suppose what I have unique to bring to the party is the fact that I have a meditation practice. I practice Vipassana meditation, and I've been interested in the convergence of that with mainstream organizational change, leadership development, or just general tuning people into something deeper so that a conversation can go a different way than it would have done otherwise, basically. So I hosted a conversation in one of our sessions that had to do with how do you bring mindfulness embodiment into collaborative leadership, facilitation, and work. And we came up with, I suppose, a series of ideas that reflect that.
So, mindfulness in collaboration. Show me what we got.
Okay, so we started initially with the idea of the individual practitioner. So it starts with having individuals who themselves have some form of mindfulness practice. So I try to sit every day as best I can, and because of that, when I'm really strong in my practice, I know that when I go in to work with individuals and groups, the presence that I bring to that makes it a better outcome for everyone involved. So just that alone is a positive outcome. Then there's the idea of working with other individuals, so just on a co-practitioner level where, say, 2-3 people choose, for example, when they're planning a project or some kind of event, to first stop, meditate together by tuning in and visualizing what they want to achieve before they have any kind of conscious conversation about it. And oftentimes an insight or an image or an idea will emerge that shortcuts makes things simpler, easier, more focused than would have happened otherwise. Then from there we talked about having a lab as part of this collaborative leadership initiative where people who have different backgrounds or practices can share that with each other, experience that, practice that, test that, learn what works, what doesn't work, and use that as a way to reinforce each other's, I suppose, way of working in organizations or in mainstream life. Then I suppose the idea is, well, how do you get access? What are the ways in which you can access in mainstream environments that makes it accessible, makes it not threatening, something that people who maybe aren't exposed to meditation practice would be open to. And basically we recognize there's a common sort of 3-step type of work that you can do. So one is to invite or to say, hey, let's try this to a group of people, give them the choice, not mandate that they do it. 2 is actually just start with an actual practice of getting centered, getting quiet, observing the breath, observing the body. So you're not trying to visualize anything, you're just purely trying to drop down into a state which is present and letting go of everything outside of that. And then from that, opening the possibility of an insight or a visualization of what's a perfect outcome or what's an ideal, next step that we can take together, and letting that come through to individuals in a group, and then reflecting that after you sit in silence, which can lead to a very positive outcome for the group. And then a couple of other ideas. One is just this, I suppose, parallel idea of embodiment, which is where you really focus on purely the physical body or physical movement as part of a way of making collaboration and group activities more meaningful. So the idea of, say, constellation, where you can take an idea of we have 3 options and 3 people or 3 groups are going to actually take a posture or a pose or create some movement that reflects that idea rather than just speaking to it. And that can make it much more real, immediate, and understandable for a group or individuals in the group to come to some conclusion based on that. And then finally the idea of ritual, where this really genius guy named Vinay actually conceptualized it in that way. But anyway, the idea is that, for example, the opening thing that we did for this whole 2 days together was we passed a sacred object, a bone that was a sacred object that people used as a talking stick. And so when you introduce that, it opens up a spiritual dimension, and it introduces a kind of opening to a deeper, more authentic voice into a conversation, which can again take what could be an ordinary group interaction to another level. And the final sort of thought there is that you create some kind of symbolic space. So if you're trying to explore an idea where, say, the idea of creativity, for example, and you're working with different archetypes that cause creativity. So you can say a kind of planning state, or a brainstorming shaman generative state, or a earth mother kind of very balanced state, and you take those corresponding states and create space in a room where those can be explored in an experiential way through some kind of symbol, and then a group can come to some kind of conclusion based on that in a more powerful way. So that's the story.
Lovely. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Who's next?
Nate,
All right.
I gotta go.
Oh, you're taking off, sir?
Yeah.
All right.
Great to see you.
Good to meet you.
Take care.
Take care.
We'll be in touch.
Enjoy the game.
So,
All right.
go
So,
well, man.
tell me who you are.
My name's Luke Concannon, and I'm here at this meeting on collaborative leadership because I think we need to get together to build solidarity, to build resilience, to build community for the kind of crises we're facing in Ireland and in the world. So hopefully through these relationships there can be inspiration, there can be passion built for action, that we get clarity on what's needed. So that's why I'm here, and also it helped me write songs.
Lovely. Lovely. Splendid. Okay, who's next up? Who's next up? Are you next up? What happened to our line? We have failed. We have failed. Is that all we're doing for video? I guess that's all we're doing for video.